A lot of the AI solutions that we have today are somewhat still fairly new, but maturing at rapid speed. So for me, I got to a point where I didn't have any AI experience and I was missing that. And it was a realization that either get it or maybe find something else to do, so to speak.
I was just wondering if you'd come in cold, you hadn't had any AI background, and you'd come into a company like this, it might have been kind of shocking. What were some of the gaps that you need to fill to be able to come into a company like this and not drown right away?
It's something new every day. The high expectations to move quickly and use AI to accomplish that. And that's the daily reminder that how are you using AI to be better, to be more efficient and move faster.
Welcome to another episode of AI Product Leader. Every week, we shine a light on what it really takes to join the AI world. Real conversations with real AI builders, founders, product leaders, AI experts, technologists, and everything in between to understand where the world of AI is right now and what that path looks like, whether you're building AI products or a career in AI. I'm your host, Polly Allen. I'm the founder of AI Career Boost, where I help product leaders navigate the world of AI, thrive, and become indispensable in their organizations. And I've spent my career in both the product software development and product management sides of that equation. I'm an ex-Alexa AI principal product manager where I launched the very first generative AI answers on Alexa. And I'm really excited to have our guest join us today. Jeff Williams is a senior leader with over 25 years in software and technology, product management, and a track record of building digital products that improve how people access and navigate complex services. From healthcare to patient engagement to e-commerce and enterprise platforms, he's led everything from 0 to 1 product launches to large-scale digital transformation initiatives. And most recently at Deloitte, Jeff has been helping modernize Novant Health's patient ecosystem. Previously at Loyal Health and WEX, he scaled healthcare integrations across insurance providers, launched high-growth SaaS products, and drove millions of patient interactions through SMS, email, and digital engagement platforms. Known for blending strategic thinking with disciplined execution, Jeff brings deep expertise in healthcare interoperability, agile delivery, UX, and data-driven product leadership. Jeff, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you, Polly. Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
I've been so looking forward to this podcast in particular because your story is such a great one of coming from this rich and deep background across a bunch of different disciplines, across everything from SaaS and growth to digital transformation, but then bursting into AI. You've recently started a new role at OpenLoop, which is a very AI-first company. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes. Yes. And you captured it very well. As you know, this role at OpenLoop, was came about because of my experience with your program. And all of the great things that you ushered us through and we helped build and learn was the catalyst for me getting this role and being in a company like OpenLoop Health that really is in my true definition an AI first company. We can get more into that. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. We will absolutely dive into what being inside an AI first company looks like day to day. I'd love first just to get a little bit more about you and your background before you got into AI. AI was on your radar. How did you get into the spaces you've been in previously in technology in general?
Yeah, so I've my degrees in computer science. So I mean, from the get go, I was in the IT and software development realm in various roles in various companies and solutions and products that we're building. I've been in the industry for a long, long time. Um, Last probably 10 to 11 years, 12 years has been in product management in various roles, again in various different industries and verticals. The last, including my role here at OpenLoop, the last 3 roles have been in healthcare in some various form or another, B2B SaaS or enterprise. OpenLoop is more of a B2B to C. So kind of
Mm,
just all facets of around that whole healthcare domain. For me, being in product management, I love it. It is super hard. It's probably one of the hardest jobs I've ever had. But it can be so rewarding and very, very challenging, for a lot of reasons. But, you know, for me, all of my roles were very challenging for different reasons, but nothing really in the AI space. And a lot of the
mm,
AI solutions that we have today are somewhat still fairly new, but
yeah.
maturing, at rapid speed. So for me, I got to a point where I didn't have any AI experience, and I was missing that, and it was a realization that you know either get it or maybe find something else to do, so to speak. That was kind of
Mm.
the crossroads I feel like I was staring at.
It's definitely become existential for a lot of people. The interesting thing was also not just getting into an AI role, but one at a company where you've described OpenLoop Health as using it extensively, being very AI first. Let's dive into what that means. Like, what does that mean in your day to day?
Sure.
Do you find it different on an average day than you would have when in traditional software environment?
For me, in my experience here at OpenLoop, it starts from the top. And
Mm,
OpenLoop has done a great job, even at I will say, when I say at the top, I literally mean the CEO. The
yeah.
CEO is in a great way challenging everyone in the company to find ways to leverage AI to go faster, be
Yep.
more efficient, and solve problems quicker. And when
Mhm.
I mean everyone, not just product, engineering, customer success, implementation team. It doesn't matter, even sales. Find ways. And I'll give you an example without getting too deep into our company. And
Yeah.
but we have a I would call it a fairly large meeting every day, and we tackle the co-founder. One of the co-founders is there,
Yeah.
and we go through ways that people either are using AI to do their job more efficiently and better, but also people will bring problems to this meeting, and we will work through with him and others on how we can leverage AI. Literally, people are pulling up Claude. You were a big Claude shop. What Claude? I mean, live and sharing screens, and we're solving those problems. It's not just here's how I recommend doing it. It is actually doing it in
In the
that
meet
meeting in the meeting.
Turning the
So,
meetings into working meetings.
and we
Yeah.
found ways. We discovered ways that a certain team might be trying to solve a problem manually that takes days, and we're talking
Yeah.
days. And it's like everybody just kind of realized, like, we didn't know you were doing that. Here's Claude. Let's use Claude, and we'll set up solutions in Claude to make that happen either automatically behind the scenes of the backend process or do it in minutes, right? And
Wow.
it was really interesting to see people's eyes just light up, like, oh my god, I didn't know that was even possible.
Right?
And
I feel like people feel like they've understand the possibility if they've played with ChatGPT or something. I feel like it ends there, and
yeah,
then
it's
they
one of
don't
those
even
things that's like, you didn't even know you could walk through that door. And
Yeah.
you walk through the door, and it's just this kaleidoscope of possibilities that, and I even today, I see dashboards and things that people have built and they will share, and
Yeah.
they are using it daily. It's not just a demonstration. It is
Yeah.
actively making your job better. And that's what I like about OpenLoop. It's from the top down, it's pushed down through the ecosystem and the mindset of everyone. So for me, day to day as a PM, it'd be almost easier to tell you how I don't use it, but it is research discovery. I've got back-end processes running that are monitoring Slack to tell me about certain things that are happening, different channels, monitor different channels. There's a lot
Yeah.
of, we're a very Slack heavy company, so a lot of our communication, even with our vendors, we're in Slack together. So
In Slack.
a lot of monitoring there to kind of tell me what's going on. I have it connected to all of my relevant product repos. So
Okay.
instead of going and asking engineers or others, you know, certain questions, I can usually get those questions answered through a Claude query. Tell it to
Gotcha.
go to these repos, use these documents, pull those together. I use it to build Jira tickets, stories, epics, all of that. I rarely
Yeah.
touch any of that by hand.
It's got like an MCP or some kind of connection to
Mhm.
Jira, so you don't have to
MTT to
copy and
Jira,
paste.
Notion, Linear, um, all of it, right? I mean, when I say, I mean, my manager challenges us to connect it to everything, use it to,
Yeah.
in a way that, any statuses that I have to provide to him or leadership, maybe at the end of the week, all should come from Claude. I shouldn't have to touch it. That's the
Mm,
goal.
yeah.
And even reversing that to set it up so that people can query my AI to ask it questions about my product, certain statuses, where things are at, and have it answer those without having to bother me. That's the
Oh,
goal.
wow. Yeah, that's the goal. So it's and is there still areas where you feel like it's still kinda human in the loop system, you need to give some
Okay,
oversight, or
and a
is
little bit of it is making sure that, like, that I'm trying to build that trust factor to make sure that, you know if it's doing things on its own, as far as like updates to my boss or my leadership, to make sure that it is it is toned in the right way based on who this is going to. So
Yeah.
one of the things that a coworker challenged me on is use Claude to go find out more information on the leaders that you're trying to update. What is their style? What
Mm,
is how do they like to receive communication? Do they like it verbose or succinct? What's the tone? All of that. So and feed that into it to help my LLM understand when you provide an update, who's the audience, and tone it and style it
amazing.
to them.
So obviously this is connected to your communication and it now knows, hey, if I'm putting an update to this person, write it this way, but I might write it totally different to a different person in leadership.
Yeah, I might need more detail for person X, less detail for person Y.
Yeah. Wow, incredible. Happens automatically. That's amazing. I'm trying to think of I love giving our audience ideas of like very precisely what are some of the things that you've automated, like in those meetings with the co-founder in the morning, the things that made people eyes open. Can you think of anything? It doesn't have to be proprietary, but things you've automated that you've been like, hey, this
Yeah,
was super
a lot of the just management in Jira, I've automated. I will do a meetings, like
yeah.
planning meetings or discovery meetings, and I will have the output of that automatically go into Jira and either update
Mm,
Confluence documents,
okay.
update stories or tasks that I have or epics that I maybe something new that I need. One example is I've got a requirements for a new feature that I'm starting to put together and get off the ground. I just had a meeting that altered those requirements, so
Yeah.
I just fed it right into there and had it, update all of those requirements, make adjustments, update all the stories and tickets, send out notifications to people, let them know. So just trying to get better at a lot of the work.
Mm.
Have Claude do some of that heavy lifting.
And the shuffling of bits around
Well, it
or
just
status kind of things.
will feel like now like administrative tasks,
Yeah,
and even my manager, he's always challenging us in new ways to use AI. One of
yeah,
his examples that he introduced actually yesterday was he challenges his AI to
yeah.
figure out ways to make himself 1% better today.
Hmm. Okay, yeah. So
How can you help me be 1% better and do that every day and you just incrementally better and it will just ingest everything it knows about him from all of the different sources and figure out ways to help him be better.
help him. That's amazing. And I love that example because it showcases the difference. So many people are stuck at using like web interfaces to ask questions, or even Claude Cowork doesn't have that cohesive view. Claude Code and these harnesses, they can see they're keeping track of every single interaction you have
Mhm.
so that it can go
Like
back.
all of our meetings, we transcripts are publicly available to everyone in our group. Like we don't, although you might not be in the meeting, you have access to all my transcripts, so you
Yeah,
could query that if you wanted to see whatever you might be looking for, right? I've I've got two different dashboards in Claude Cowork that I have, and that just constantly get updated, so that if anyone wants to see what's going on, or if I want to share that in a status update meeting, depending on the audience,
yeah.
it's a great way to not get down into the nitty gritty details, but sometimes just a pie chart or a some level of dashboarding helps get some of the
Mhm.
points better than talking about 15 Jira tickets.
Right. And so when you're talking about these dashboards that people have built, they're basically vibe coding a dashboard? Or is it still using Claude, Lovable, something else?
Oh, Claude, we're definitely a heavy Claude shop.
Claude
So
Shop.
basically, without saying way too much, like everybody has a Claude license, everyone,
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
and I have never received any rebuke on token usage.
Yeah. Interesting.
So it's nice.
You're
Like I
not
just
encouraged to token max like they were at Meta, right? You weren't there's no
yeah
leaderboards as to
yeah.
who's using the most?
I do a lot on the weekends when it's nice and quiet. Not that I'm trying not to be too much of a workaholic, but sometimes in those quiet times I can focus and
Mhm.
do a lot of research. So I've built a
Right.
lot of just information on where I'm going with my product, um,
Yeah.
research and discovery that I need, and then share that with everyone. Like we have a common area where we'll
Mm.
share all of those things like that, so that others can without having to make those same prompts, they can just start
Yeah.
ingesting that. Um, I even will use that and use AI to play it back to me verbally, like while I'm washing the dishes or whatever, at the sink or something like that, just so I can keep learning, discovering,
Yeah.
and getting better.
Incredible. But yeah, it's like you said, it's easier to say where you're not using AI in your day to day.
It
Is it?
is. It's amazing. Like, I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but on video, but I told my wife, I said, I think I talked to Claude more than I talked to you.
Uh oh.
But,
don't
but,
don't don't send her this podcast. I don't
well,
want.
it's just
Well,
a more of a just again an echo of how much it is embedded in my day to day. Um,
yeah. Yeah. And so when you walk in the morning, do you open kind of a Claude terminal? Do you use it in the terminal? Do you interact through one terminal all day? What's
both,
your kind of workflow?
both. I've got both Claude Cowork, as a desktop app.
Yeah.
I've got Claude as a terminal, and it depends on kind of what I'm needing
Mm,
to get done. I might need a little more kind of horsepower with
yeah.
Claude in the terminal to do some
Yeah.
heavy lifting things. I really enjoy Claude Cowork as I can just spin off new tasks. Like I might have three things going at one time. And
Gotcha.
sometimes it's just one of those things that like pops into my head in the middle of the day, and I just can give it that task and let it go. And I might
Yeah.
come back 2 hours later, but I won't forget about it, and it really helps me kind of
You got
um,
that
you know
open tab kind of
yeah,
thing
exactly.
over
Like,
there.
oh yeah, I forgot about asking to do this, and I need to come back around to this. But I have a dashboard that really encapsulates. So, well, our company, there's a lot of. I'm on the East Coast, but a lot of folks are West Coast. We have had some remote international teams, so a lot of things are happening either while I'm not necessarily working during my workday hours. So I'll have
Right.
it kind of help me understand like instead of me going through Slack, what's important in Slack that I need to answer? Where was
Hmm.
I tagged? What are the high priority things that I need to make sure I tackle? So that just helps me kind of get my day started.
Absolutely. So you come in and do you have like a slash command you created to do that? Or do you just start chatting with it? What's your interaction with it like?
I have a skill that I have it where I can tell it go find the most important things that I need to be aware of in the next
Yeah.
couple hours or the next hour. What do I need to address right away? So I've just continued to kind of refine that skill so it knows kind of what to look for, what to tell me about.
Mm,
It
yeah.
drifts a little once in a while, but that's okay. But yeah, it really helps me understand like what do I need to focus on like in this next 30 minutes or 60 minutes.
'Cause you didn't come in come in swinging. It sounds like a really fast-paced environment. Is there anything else you remember really, like, shocking you when you first came into this, like, completely new way of working?
The fast pace was it was shocking, but I will say, throughout the interview process, they were super transparent that it is
Yeah,
fast paced,
yeah,
and it's not for everyone. Um,
mhm,
and you can, oh yeah, that's fantastic. Like, I'm on board with that. But once you get into the mix of it, yeah, it's a very fast paced company, and but it to me that's okay. It's
yeah,
something new every day. The high expectations to move quickly and
mhm,
use AI to accomplish that, and that's the,
yeah,
the the daily reminder that how are you using AI to be better, to be more efficient, and move faster. Yeah, I mean even to the
amazing.
point where they're we haven't quite crossed that bridge yet, but they're open to PMs potentially vibe coding.
Actual
Things
production.
within the product. Yeah, to put
Yeah.
things into the repo and have those code reviewed and everything like that. So I'm really looking forward. I'm hoping that's going to happen pretty soon. But going through your program, I was able to do that with the solution, the product that I built, and that was really cool interaction.
Yeah, and, I think that let's chat about how this prepared you for it. I think, I was just wondering if you'd come in cold, you'd come from this background, but you hadn't had any AI background, and you'd come into a company like this, it might have been kinda shocking. What were some of the gaps that you'd need to fill to be able to come into a company like this and not drown right away?
Gosh, it's just again, it's a fast-paced company, so you have to learn fast and move
Mhm.
fast, and it's not a hands-on company. I mean, or not, that's not the word. They're not a hand-holding company, right? So
Handhold, okay.
you're expected to learn and get better. Um, I've seen people that come into the company that don't have a whole lot of or zero, AI experience, and
Mm,
it's tough. It's a tough bridge to
yeah,
make. you have a lot to learn and get familiar with and comfortable with.
Yeah.
Having gone through your program, I was already in that comfortable space, and even through the interview process, I made a lot of connections with the people I was interviewing, and able to talk the talk and walk the walk, so to speak, from an AI perspective. It wasn't something I just read and I could rattle off. Like I could tap into the time spent in your program and what I produced and how I use it, even though it wasn't necessarily in my career, didn't
Right.
matter. You
It
know,
didn't matter.
oh yeah, so how'd you use Claude and what solutions did you use? What else did are you familiar with? And really make connections, and that really helped me come in, like you said, come in swinging with a lot of experience, and build on that. Like now I can see like how others use it, and it's like, oh, that's fantastic, and think about that. But I can also share with others. I'm able to share with others that come in without that experience and help them come up to speed quicker. Like, here's where you need to spend your time. Don't worry
Yeah.
about this over here.
Yeah. Amazing. And that's what leadership is starting to look like. I was just thinking as you were describing like building a skill, people might often think, hey, as a principal PM, you're supposed to be doing strategy. You're supposed to be like off thinking in an ivory tower about the 3-year plan, as opposed to like, I built myself a skill to keep up to date. How important is it, do you think, to be at that level of hands on, to be able to
Oh,
write your own tools?
incredibly, incredibly important. Yeah, I don't know how people are doing it without it, and
Mm,
making that work. I mean, we're the type of company where you build a skill, you upload it to a common area. Like, we have access to other people's skills, and we're
yeah.
actively sharing them. No one's like building this and hiding it away in the corner and like,
Right.
okay, I'm going to be the one that, no, we actively share everything. So I'm able to tap into what other people are doing. But yeah, we have even people at the sea level are
Yeah.
just immersed in it, and just doing fantastic things with AI,
And showing you what they're doing with
and
it.
showing us. Yeah, again, it's just a great mindset in the company to be very open about it.
Mhm.
Obviously, as you know, I mean, you have to be very careful, but we're using it in ways that are careful, but we're using it in ways to make our job better. But we're also, there's a lot I can say about how we're using it, but we are embedding AI in our solutions with
Yeah,
our clients and their end users. So it's not just in your day-to-day work, which is a lot. Well, we are an AI first company in that the solutions that we produce and sell have a huge AI element in the voice
absolutely.
recognition, voice transcription, automated appointment scheduling, just so many things that, and more and more to come. That we're just putting into the products that I'm building. Functionality wise, I'm building in a way that you interact with that product, and it's an internal product. So, but our internal users are using that in a way that they uh, communicate with Claude or ChatGPT instead of a lot of point and clicking on menus and whatever. You give it prompts just like you
Right.
would a Claude or a ChatGPT.
But actually getting the tasks done within that interface that they came to do.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but also bridging the mindset that of where we are in 2026, of
Mhm.
how you interact with everyone.
Yeah, new interaction models. Absolutely. And to be clear, you'd never implemented AI features before this in previous jobs. This is
And
the first time like implementing AI features, so really you're thrown in the deep end. Let's
yeah,
talk a little bit about how the program did prepare you for that. So during the program, you actually built a capstone project that you were able to talk about in interviews. Can you tell us a little bit more about the project you did? Because I think it's a fascinating case.
in your program, I was able to your challenge right out of the gate. Week one is find a problem that you want to solve or something that you're passionate about. And oddly enough, my product and my passionate solution was a it's called Shopping List Assist, and it's a very fairly simple product that allows you as a user to build your shopping list and organize it instead of going through a printed list and missing, apples on a certain aisle or cereal on a certain aisle and have to double back. And my original vision for this was that it would be more of like a B2B type product that I could
Mhm.
sell,
Yeah.
and quickly changed because I had realized that, something new play like, very hard to get at some of the data that I need to support it. So one of the core features is you need to be able to organize your list according to the aisles within a store. Well, all of that's very different store to store. So I
Hmm.
had to pivot a little bit because that data is hard to get to. So I organized it by kind of more like product category or food category, right? So um, really cool product. I love it a lot. I still use it. My wife still uses it. Our family still uses it.
That's awesome.
My aunts and uncles are still using it. I get queries all the time. Hey, can you make it do this? But I was actually able to integrate it with Kroger, like a sandbox API. It was fake
Yeah.
data, but and integrate in a way that it surfaced deals and coupons that might be, or sorry, deals for products that
Yeah.
you might find in the store. And it really added just a level of value to the product instead of just an organization tool.
Yeah, absolutely. And potentially have a monetization path. I remember being so excited that we were like, well, we don't know if this is a real product. And then it's
Yeah,
like, hey,
yeah,
actually,
yeah. No,
with the data.
like I say, we use it. Like I say, it's sandbox data, but I still tap into it every once in a while, and like if this is real, how much money we could save a lot of money doing this trip, to the grocery store.
I still think it's got legs. Whenever you have a spare
I,
moment from your day job.
I do too. Yeah, I was going to mention I haven't had a chance to spend on kind of continuing to build on it, but I will. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It was super excited to see. And so, what kinds of questions came up in the interview where you were talking about that project? How did the project help you
One
get
of
to
the
step
core
up into that?
questions that comes up in an open loop interview is what's your AI experience, and how have you used it in your life or your job. And
Yeah,
again, I don't have any career experience with it until now, but I was able to tap into that. Here's all of the different solutions, AI solutions that I'm familiar with, and it wasn't just Claude, obviously, in your program. It was branched out to a number of different areas, so I could tap into that and then pivot to here's how I use it to build this solution, this product, as a side project to help me get more familiar with AI and understand how to use it, maybe how not to use it, what solutions work for me, maybe what solutions don't. And it was a very interactive conversation, within the interview cycles, that really helped a lot. Like again, I could go deep
yeah,
into the solution that I built, issues that I ran into, blockers I ran into, maybe pivots I had to make. Right, so
yeah.
it's building
War
a
stories.
product, really relating it to how I am allowed me to build that so quickly, and just I did it on my own. It was just
Yeah.
me and Claude.
Amazing. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy to see the growth you had with this, where you're like, I'm running evaluations. I ran a classifier.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, no, I'm glad you mentioned that. I was able to build my own classifier model. It didn't work
Mhm.
very well, but that's okay. It was just going through the experience of it was
Yeah.
just a fantastic, and it's one of the things that, like, in the product that I'm building at OpenLoop, my goal is to have its own MCP and CLI so that
Yeah.
people can interact with my product without even having to log into it. You can make queries to it
And
outside
that's
of within their own cloud. Here, contact
yeah.
product X and ask it so and so,
Yep, and that's the trend now. There's, like, no more user interface the way
and we're using
we're
interface.
traditionally used to it, right? Absolutely. Well, it's quite the transformation, Jeff. It's so exciting to see you thriving in this AI first environment and at OpenLoop. If you had to give advice to anyone who wants to take their leadership but get more hands-on, what would you recommend? What should they do this week?
That's a good question. I mean, I think for me, my biggest advice is to reach out to your program, and you really actively look at what it's going to offer you as a person for your career and your growth. Um, is it a commitment? Yes. Is it a financial commitment? Yes. But it is super well worth it. I mean, it is not super long. For me, it's just the right length, but you're going to get from the week one, you're going to get start getting immersed into so many different solutions. For me, when I started, I had no idea that was part of the problem. There were so many different AI solutions. It's hard to figure
Mhm.
out where do I start? Like what's
Yeah.
important? What do I spend my time on? And your program helps answer that. And it gives you a slice of different AI solutions and areas. What's good, here's how you might use it, and here's how you may need to ever use it. So um, it's just a great program. For me, I would say, just do some research into the program, see everyone's experience. Um, and a lot of it is if you invest the time or invest in the program, commit the time.
Hmm.
The way you structure each week, you can spend a little bit of time in there and get some really cool knowledge, or you can go deeper, deeper, and spend a lot of time and get some really cool, even advanced skills and knowledge. So a lot of it is, I hate to say it is what you make of it. It's the time that you put into it, what you get out of it. But spend the time. It is fantastic. It helped me. I mean, I am standing where I am because of this program. When I started your program, I didn't have a job.
Mm.
And I was at that cusp of, I need to learn AI to keep going in this in the product domain, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
Or else I'm just not going to make it.
Absolutely. And now this AI first company and thriving. It's so exciting to see,
No,
Jeff.
yeah, it turned out I couldn't have written a better story. I mean, for me, is it a fast-paced company? Yes. Is it a tough role? Yes. But every day it's something new, and I get a chance to work with solutions in ways that I may not have thought of yesterday or last week.
Absolutely incredible. Well, thanks again so much for coming on and sharing your insight. We have time for one last section, and that, of course, is plugs. Is there anything you'd like to plug? Reasons for people to reach out to you?
Oh gosh, yeah. So you can find me on LinkedIn, Jeff A. Williams, and would just love to hear from everyone, and just understand how others are using this, solutions, AI solutions in your role. I'm always looking for new ways to tap in, and would love to share more about how I'm doing it. And really, this, the plug I give is your program. Just I would encourage everyone to just reach out, chat with you and the folks in your organization. It was just a great experience for me, and I can't say enough good things about it. Really enjoyed it. Enjoyed you working with you and all of the level of experience you have. I tell people all the time, it's like I got to work with the founder of Alexa, so it's like, you know, I was like,
I don't
how
know if I'm
better?
the founder, but I did
Better
work there.
gonna get. But also, the folks that in my cohort were just incredibly nice, super smart, just welcoming and warm, and everybody just leans into each other. It's very helpful. This is a great experience.
Oh, wonderful. Thanks so much, Jeff. From our end, we are opening up soon the doors for our next cohort. It's kicking off in September.
Go do it.
Um, so we'll be doing our free product masterclass that we've been known for. It's coming up soon. So do make sure you get registered for that. We'll include the link in the show notes. Also, if you like hearing stories like Jeff's about what it's like to be at an AI company, what does that really look like day to day without all the hype and the fluff at a super high level, but actually really understanding what they're doing, drop our podcast a like or a star, 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. It helps us know who's out there and helps amplify our message as well. Awesome. Well, thanks again so much, Jeff, for being on. Really appreciate it. And that's our episode for this week of AI Product Leader. We'll see you all in a couple of weeks. Bye for now. Thanks again, Jeff. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Carly.